Hey, welcome back on the Good Morning Artesia Radio Show. Joby's here. Didn't you open up that box from Kith and Kin? And what did you say?
I said, "Holy cow, those look good." I may have to take one with me.
Absolutely, I would love for you to do that. Otherwise, I have to eat them. We were at McDonald's Saturday morning having our typical Saturday morning breakfast. What is going on here?
I do not know.
There we go. I'm hitting the buttons thinking I'm on the TV, and I'm not. Let's see. There's me. There's you. Okay. All right. So I'm at the McDonald's, right? And we see a gentleman come in to buy food, and he's got what looks like a bass in the colors of the Texas state flag.
Okay.
And it says the Texas High School Bass Association. So they must have been rolling their way through the state, or at least through Artesia. I don't know if he was on an association venture, or he just got a T-shirt because he's got a kid, or he was a volunteer. But
in any case, he had a T-shirt. Yeah, that's good.
T-shirt. And you've talked in the past about wanting to encourage kids to get involved in fishing. It's a great way for kids and parents to bond together and get away from the cell phones and all that other kind of stuff. Have you got a lot of kids that you're seeing participate, or what do you do to encourage that?
We actually, New Mexico Bass Nation, just like Texas Bass Nation, has a youth and kids part of our organization, and they've been having some derbies, some tournaments. This year, I can't remember how many. I know they've had a bank tournament, fish from the bank, at least one of those, I think, and at least one off of boats as well. So we definitely have that, and continuing to work that. We've got officers of the organization, and he's going to be aggravated with me. I cannot think of our
and I wasn't trying to put you on the spot.
I know, but I'm trying to think of his name. And he was there this weekend, and his name, I picture him. So, but we have an officer that's over the youth and the kids, and he does an outstanding job taking care of that. And I'm going to find his name while we're talking, because that's bothering me. And I don't want to say it wrong. I don't want to, because I think I know his first name. I can't think of his last name, but I'm going to look it up real quick. But anyway, so we have that as well. And, we're constantly, at least I say we, our officer that handles that is constantly working to have more, to have more things for the kids to do in terms of tournaments, and even if they're from the bank, like I said. I thought that we had a list. There it is right there. Justin Allen. I could not think of his last name. I knew Justin. So Justin, if you see this, I knew he's our youth director, Justin Allen, and he does an outstanding job. We actually have a Facebook group page that is New Mexico Bass Nation Conservation and Youth. And so if anybody's interested out there listening to this and they want to find out more, they can go to our Facebook page. Well, it's a group page, so it's really not it's a group. But they're constantly putting things on there. Our conservation director is Earl Conway, and our youth director is Justin Allen. And so they kind of manage that group and put a lot of information out there. I share all of our, New Mexico Bass Nation is kind of the overall organization, and then the conservation part and the youth part is just pieces or parts of New Mexico Bass Nation. And those guys have that group Facebook page, and then we, of course, have our official New Mexico Bass Nation page. And anyway, saw those guys this weekend. We had our final two qualifiers as New Mexico Bass Nation up at Conscious Lake. Pecos Valley Bassmasters, we were there were four of us involved. Four of our fishermen fished, including myself. But had a great turnout at Conscious. Conscious is really, really low. I think we talked a little bit about that last week. But we still had 37 boats, so 74 anglers. And there was actually like 76 or 77 anglers. We had some that only fished one day, and then others and so that caused there to be a few more anglers, but 74 boats in total. It was a beautiful weekend. It was hot, July, but it wasn't unbearable. There was a breeze, and at times it got a little gusty. The issue, and the lake's low, but the big issue is we just could not get keepers to bite. We had a really, really bad turnout on number of fish caught that were keepers, 14-inch minimum. So that piece of it was pretty tough, but still had our 2 qualifying tournaments. I've put a lot of stuff out there on Facebook. If you want to find it, Gene, and share it, we got pictures of the big bass. So there were still some good-sized bass caught, just so few of them. And for example, I zeroed both days, didn't catch a keeper, caught a lot of fish, caught a lot of small fish, but just the keeper, and that was the way it was. I mean, on day 1, which was qualifier number 3, so Saturday, we had 11 of our 37 boaters catch a keeper bass, so 11 out of 37, so under a third. And on the non-boater side, only 4 out of 37.
Wow.
And then on the qualifier number 4, which was yesterday, day 2, we only had 9 boaters and only 3 non-boaters, so 12 keepers, which is just insane. I mean, that's pretty low, for any tournament anywhere. And you can remember back when I talked about Kansas, we went to the regional earlier this year and how tough the fishing was for keeper bass. Over 65% of the field at that regional championship did not catch keeper bass. So we were even higher than that. We were up in the 70, 80%. And on the boater side and on the non-boater side, we were up in the 90% that didn't catch keeper bass. So tough fishing. Have you been able to find a Mexico Bass Nation?
I think I do. I've got the couple of video clips here.
So there's some video clips, and then there's some big bass pictures.
Okay, so where would let's see, let me bring it up here. So where would the pictures be? Would it be under the photos? Oh, I'm sorry.
Just a little bit, so yeah. So if you go to, keep scrolling. Let's see, scroll on down. So you're coming up to some pictures now, and you're on the Pecos Valley, which is fine because I shared to it. So that was yesterday. If you click on those pictures, Christian Gladfelter won big bass on the boater side, really nice smallmouth. And then the next picture was Ricky Monroe, and that's a largemouth. He won the big bass on the non-boater side, and that was yesterday. And then I think if you keep scrolling, maybe you'll see more, or maybe you got to go to the next post. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was Sunday. That was qualifier number 4. And if you scroll down from there.
Do I need to go to the other page? Or?
No, I shared them to this page.
Okay.
I shared them to Pecos Valley Bassmasters. So that's day 1. Click on those 2. Very nice bass. That was over 6-pounder caught by our tournament director, actually. And he won big bass. That's Gabriel Rivera. And that was a 6+ pound black bass or largemouth. And then that's Daniel Valdez. He won big bass. And I should have picked on him because you can see it looks like a camera trick, but that was a big bass. I mean, you can see that he's really got it held out there, which is a trick of the trade.
Yep.
To make them look bigger. But that was over 5 pounds. And that was a big bass on day 1, which was qualifier number 3.
Okay.
So Gabriel Rivera and
that's those 2
Daniel Valdez,
pictures there. So now,
and then I had some videos. I took some videos of blast off of our. And then there's the you can see the results. I think that was probably day 1. But so you can see just so few fish out of the whole list there.
Yeah,
not very many guys caught and ladies caught fish. So
bring it up. This was the
that was day 1 boater side,
right?
And 11, I think, is what it shows. You can see fish caught there, and I think it was total 20 keeper fish caught on day 1, 20 total by those 15, 11 boaters, and that was day 1 non-boater. So 4 anglers caught at least 1 keeper fish. So it was just a really, really tough tournament, and I know that everybody fished hard. I know we did. Mike Hill was my boater,
right? One
of our members in our club, and that was a picture I took the first morning. So I'm always so excited about, we just got to our spot, and I turned and took that picture. The sun was coming. Well, we'd probably been there a little bit because the sun was. It was safe light when we got out there, but anyway, just a pretty picture there on the lake at Conscious Lake. Just wasn't catching keepers.
Wasn't catching
tough
keepers.
Weekend.
That is that's got to be a little frustrating. I noticed the.
That's the yep. So you go up.
Here's the day 2 results here, so I'll bring those up. I noticed with all the rain we've had in this area. Looks like Brantley Lake has come back up just a little bit.
A ton, actually. I think Brantley Lake, as of last week, was up 9 feet, and that is a lot. that 9 feet is a lot, because you think about the surface of the water, how big it is. To go 9 feet up, that's a lot of rainwater that collected there.
Yeah.
And I'm sure even up, it's going to be up a lot more because of the rains that were yesterday. When we came through Roswell, they were underwater last evening. So we didn't get quite as much here. Obviously, I mean, we got here, it wasn't the same, but they were underwater in Roswell. They flooded. Yeah. So that water running down to the Pecos River, will go on into Brantley. So Brantley's way up. Conscious was actually up 2 feet, is what I was told so they hadn't caught as much water as we have in the last week or two, but 2 feet's a lot too. Yeah. And it's a lot bigger lake than Brantley, so it's up 2 feet, but it was really, really low. I think all-time kind of record low. It was when I talked to one of the park rangers a month or two ago, because I was looking for our club, maybe Pecos Valley Bassmasters, to go try to fish in New Mexico Lake this year. And they told me that it was at 4 foot from dead pool, which means that they wouldn't release any more water downriver for 4 feet. And it's normally, at normal capacity, it's probably 100. I mean, I don't know what, it's 40 feet from dead pool or something. Right, so it's down 40 or 50 feet. Yeah. Which is, again, you think about that, 50 feet of water depth over a large area is a lot of water. Yeah. No, it's just, it's amazing. I mean, glad to see some of the water coming back. Yeah, they were up 2 feet, is what I was told this weekend. So, yeah. But it was a tough tournament. I think the tournament went very well. I want to thank all the anglers out there that fished it, that put up with the tough bite. Again, I think probably everybody were catching fish, would be my guess, because we did. My boater and I, Mike and I, caught a lot of fish. I say that yesterday was even tougher, and I didn't catch many fish. Mike caught a lot more than I did yesterday. And at the end of the day, we kind of got into a school of smallmouth that he could see on his graphs, and he was fishing a certain technique and was catching them, and he's trying to get me, but they're all small, and I'd given up. Basically, I was like, he said, well, maybe, I'll catch a 2-pounder in this mix, and he kept trying. He caught a lot of smallmouth, but they were small. My guess is that the anglers, all of them that fished, caught fish, just not very many keepers caught. Sometimes that happens, I guess. It's probably the worst, besides Kansas. It's the worst tournament I've ever seen in terms of fish caught, keepers. Keepers caught, because there's a minimum length. 14-inch length on a smallmouth or largemouth. And Conscious, as well as Ute, are really, they have both species, but I think they're both more of smallmouth fisheries, a lot more smallmouth. And, Mike and I were talking about it. Other guys that I fished with, we were just all talking about it. It seems like they just never get over 12, 13 inches. I've been fishing up there for a lot of years. Now, obviously, some do. You saw that big smallmouth. That was one of the big bass caught, but just not a lot of them, it seems like. And I don't know where the keepers were. I don't know if the rains, the water raising and all the rain that had come through caused the bigger bass to slow down. I don't know. Yeah. Because the smaller bass were pretty active. They were eating and feeding and So of all the places that you fished this year for tournament, whether it's the Bass Nation or for Pecos Valley, where have you had the best keeper results? Probably New Mexico Bass Nation. It was Ute fished pretty well. Our first 2 tournaments qualifiers. Our 2 qualifiers that we had for the 2021 team that we had this year in Texas at Possum Kingdom, that one fished pretty well. Not as good as Possum Kingdom probably normally does. So for New Mexico Bass Nation, I guess overall, fish caught probably, keepers probably Ute Lake, which was a couple 3 months ago. For Pecos Valley Bassmasters, probably Hubbard Creek. We haven't fished any New Mexico lakes this year. We've only fished Texas. Right. And I'm trying to, off the top of my head, probably Hubbard Creek was our most in terms of, but the nursing home had pretty good. The nursing home had some good catfish that they caught with some assistance. But I think probably Hubbard Creek for Pecos Valley Bassmasters. We do have 3 tournaments plus our championship remaining for Pecos Valley Bassmasters. We fish at Fort Phantom Hill, which is just north of Abilene, the 24th and 25th of this month. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be there, but our club will be fishing there. Then we fish in August and September and then our championship will be in October. So, again, we still got room to join. We had a new member join just this last week and fished New Mexico Bass Nation, and I think he's going to try to fish the remaining of our tournaments.
Good.
And then I had a person reach out this morning via Facebook on New Mexico Bass Nation page and asked, I want more information on how to join and what do I need to do. So I gave him some, and I said, where are you? Because first step is to join a local club. Well, it happens he's in Carlsbad. So
there you go.
We may have another member join our club. Now, of course, New Mexico Bass Nation is through for the year. We have 4 qualifiers annually, and those are done. And so the team, we're working through the numbers today. We're going to make sure they're right before we put the team out there. We think we know what the team is going to be, and unless we have some drops, unfortunately, I didn't make it. I was sitting in 9th going in, but not catching any fish hurt me.
Oh, so
I dropped to
slid out of
tie
the,
for.
yeah.
I think I'm in 12th.
Yeah.
So it's possible that if some people that made the top 10 can't go, I could still be in the top 10. But none of our guys in our club made the top 10.
Yeah.
Just couldn't catch keepers. Mike did catch a keeper bass yesterday, so he was one of the 9 boaters that had a keeper bass. So
yeah.
proud of him for that.
Well, it happens. I
That's
mean,
right.
it's not every week you go out and catch, home.
It's unusual for that to happen at a tournament that size, but
That's
it did.
true.
It happened.
So there
we'll see.
you go. So the website, their Facebook page, where do you want people to go if they want to learn more? And maybe
for our Pecos Valley Bassmasters, always go to pvbm.club. You can also find us on Facebook, Pecos Valley Bassmasters. For New Mexico Bass Nation, you can go to NMBFN, New Mexico Bass Federation Nation.com.
Okay.
And we still have the federation in there. It's changed. BAS has changed, but it's still in our website. And you can also go to New Mexico Bass Nation on Facebook.
Excellent. Joby, thank you so much.
Yep,
Appreciate
thank
you
you
coming in. And thanks to Rob for these wonderful